is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are so.
From beautiful Turner Field, it's time for Braves baseball, and it's time for the Braves to find a way to beat the Rockies. Colorado's won the first 2 games of this series, but on a sunny Sunday, we'll see if Atlanta can salvage Game 3 of the set. Hi again, friends. Usual suspects with you here in the broadcast booth. And fellas, who better to get the Braves in the win column than their all-star starter, Julio Teheran, who gets the ball today against Rockies starter John Gray.
You know what, Chip? Maybe that 1-inning stint in the All-Star game will get Julio going, because his first 2 starts here in July prior to the All-Star break weren't that good. And Tom, he's looking for his first win at home for this season, which is very unusual.
No, it's hard to believe, particularly when you look at his numbers here at Turner Field in terms of how he's pitched and really his overall numbers for the season. Pitched much better than his record would indicate. No question he wants to get back on track after his last 2 starts. Fresh start second half of the year, so look for him to do that today.
And let's get him some early runs. That always helps a Braves starting pitcher. We'll see what happens in Game 3 here in Atlanta. Julio Teheran's getting ready. We're ready to go. It's the Braves and the Rockies. Lineups and first pitch are coming right up.
Is presented by your local Hyundai dealers.
Pretty day here in Atlanta. A very slight breeze. Another warm afternoon for the Braves and the Rockies. Hopefully Atlanta can heat up. They've been beaten by Colorado in games 1 and 2. Last night, a real frustrating ball game for the club. Mike Foltynewicz pitched great before things slipped out of reach in the 8th inning. And guys, we saw some history, unfortunately, last night. There were 8 wild pitches in the first 2 games of this series. In the history of the Atlanta Braves, there had never been a series with more than 7. And on a night when Colorado came back and won for the first time when trailing after 7, it wasn't the big hits, but some sloppy play that really cost Mike a chance to win the ball game.
Yeah, that was the disappointing part to me, was the way the game ended and the style that it ended. And a predominant number of the wild pitches have been fastballs. I mean, really bad location with fastballs. So hopefully that won't be the case today with Julio.
Yeah, I think sometimes, obviously, with the wild pitches, you can attribute it to you're trying to make that really nasty strikeout pitch with a breaking ball typically. But like you said, Joe, to your point, the number of wild pitches with fastballs, I don't understand. Maybe it's, let's say, hey, it's some rust from the All-Star break, I hope. But yeah, if you're going to pitch at this level, you shouldn't be hitting the bull, so to speak, like Bull Durham with your fastball.
Yeah. So day game after the night game, Anthony Recker will get the start for the Braves. It'll be his first start in an Atlanta uniform. Anthony's already debuted with the Braves and has picked up a hit in his lone at bat. So he'll be the man laying down the signals for Julio Teheran, coming off his All-Star appearance. A perfect inning out in San Diego. And Tommy, you can relate to what that experience was like for the Braves right-hander.
Yeah, no question. Look, anytime you're you're named as an All-Star, it's a great honor to have the opportunity to play in the game. Is a lot of fun as well. And like Joe said, maybe that one-inning tune-up is something that Julio can build on. His last couple of starts have been a little bit rough. Location's been a little bit of a problem. The home run ball a little bit of a problem. But hopefully that All-Star game got him back in the right frame of mind, and he can carry that here today.
And he's facing a Colorado Rockies club that historically he's had a lot of success against. So that plays into Julio's hands, we think.
Yeah, he's pitched really well against the Rockies in 5 starts, 4-1 with a 3.4 ERA. So good outing in the All-Star game. You got a team that you've had success against in the past. So hopefully everything's lining up for a great start today.
His 4 keys to pitching success today, on the heels of what you just said. It figures that he's had good numbers against a lot of the guys in the lineup. Well, that is the case. Today's starting lineup, the guys that have faced him before have only a 1.11 average against him. That's 3 for 27 combined among these good hitters for the Rockies. Number 2, GPS. He's been knocked around a little bit in his last 2 starts, including that one in Chicago against the White Sox. He's got to have a little better location on his fastball to each side of the plate.
Thought you're going to drop a Fareed Zakaria on us for Julio Teheran here as you look at the Atlanta defense. Francoeur, Ciarte, and Markakis left to right. Anthony Recker, as we told you, behind the plate. The singing man, Chase Darno, fresh off his concert post-game last night, gets the start at shortstop. Jace Peterson moves from left field to second base as Atlanta takes on the Colorado Rockies, who are now 42-48 on the year. They've made a couple of changes in their lineup. Daniel Descalso is back in there. Christian Adams, Barnes, Walters, and Gray, the bottom part of the order for Walt Weiss. He's giving some of his regulars some rest. They head back to Denver after this game and open up a series next with the Tampa Bay Rays before the Braves come to town later next week. Rockies trying to make a push. They've been very clear. Next 10 days will tell them whether they're in or out in the National League playoff race. And we are outside on a warm, breezy day here in Atlanta. That's Nolan Arenado. He's due up third for the Rockies. Carlos Gonzalez, the 5th leading hitter in the league, lurking as well. But first things first, here's Charlie Blackmon, the former Georgia Tech star. He's ready to go for the Rockies. And Julio's first pitch right there at 90 miles an hour, a called strike. 87 degrees at first pitch officially. And Trip Gibson is the home plate umpire. Twelve homers, 43 RBIs for Blackmon. He's 2 for 10 in this series. And 3 pitches takes care of the Rockies leadoff man. Can't start any better than that, can you?
No, that's what you call establishing your fastball right away.
Well, I mean, he hit the spot there. Anthony Recker behind the plate, a good catch and throw receiver. Always had a good reputation with a good arm. Great big guy, big target back there. 6'2", 240. 32 years old now.
Here's LeMahieu, second in the league in hitting. Daniel Murphy of the Nationals is first. Murphy's been out with a hamstring problem, and LeMahieu now at .334 for the year. 102 hits and 33 multi-hit games.
I was talking to Walt Weiss before the game today about some of his players, and the one thing that was consistent about all of these guys that are having such good years is that he said they all work hard. They have a great work ethic. They come to the ballpark and get after it, getting ready for games. And LeMahieu was one of those.
Here's our first Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard for the afternoon. Batting average since May 13th. That's throughout the big leagues, not just the National League. And LeMahieu is tops on that list. Out of play foul, right side, full count.
Julio's pitched well during day games. In fact, 2 of his 3 wins on the season have been in day games. 2-2, 3.14 ERA.
Teheran struck out Charlie Blackmon to start the game. Now LeMahieu faces a 3-2 pitch, and he drives it towards center. And that'll be playable for Ender Inciarte, who's got it shy of the track. 2 up, 2 down in the first.
Nine for 9 on fastball so far.
Yep. I guess he got your memo. GPS in it.
And here's Arenado. And a swing and a miss. Arenado, one of the great young players in the game. Tied for second in the league in homers, first in RBIs with 71. Last year, he drove in 130. And that, of course, led the National League. Popped up behind first. Long run, Freddie Freeman. Still chugging and couldn't get there. And Arenado will get another chance with a 1-2 count.
This 111 batting average against Julio by the guys in the lineup today for Colorado. The 3 hits all belong to Blackmon. Arenado 0 for 5, Cargo 0 for 5, Descalso 0 for 4, Barnes 0 for 1.
So let's see what record comes up with. Julio's got one he likes, and here it comes. And Arenado scorches it toward right and right at Nick Markakis. And Julio, with a 13-pitch first inning, breezes through the top of the first inning.
sports and outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
3 up, 3 down for Julio Teheran in the top of the first inning. Now the Braves go to work against a man that the Rockies think is going to be a star. He's a rookie right-hander, John Gray.
5-4 on the year, but starting to figure things out a little bit. His last 8 starts, 3-2 with a 3.65. And that's a big boy on the mound out there. 6'4", 235, and he can bring it. Mid-90s to upper 90s fastball, so look for a steady dose of that today.
Hard slider, too. Very simple mechanics, just kind of a step back and go.
And at first glance, you look at him, he's got a little bit of the Noah Syndergaard look with the flowing blonde locks under that Rockies cap. And he throws about as hard as Syndergaard does, too. 5-4 record, a 4.67 ERA. And a shot into shallow left is going to get down for a base hit for Jace Peterson. And the Braves have the first hit of the day. Jace continues his good work out of the leadoff spot. He'll be followed by Chase Darno and Freddie Freeman. Nick Markakis, the cleanup man. Jeff Francoeur in left. Garcia, Inciarte, Recker 8th, and Julio Teheran 9th.
Gray spent the better part of 3 seasons in the minor leagues before getting called up last year to the big club, and his minor league record 20-11 with a 3.82 ERA.
You probably got a little soft spot for him, don't you?
I do. He is an Oklahoma Sooner, former Sooner, was a first-round pick 3 years ago, 3rd pick in the draft. Out of Chandler, Oklahoma.
One ball, no strikes for Darno. And the throw to first. It's taken Gray a while to pick up his first major league win. In fact, he started his career with 13 starts without a win. That's the longest run in Rockies history. And guys, amazingly, for a guy with as good a stuff as he has, the Rockies have only won 7 of his 24 big league starts. And a shot to right field. Back-to-back hits begins the day for the Atlanta offense. 2 on, nobody out.
Great job there by Chase. Just trying to go the other way, take advantage of the hole, and an excellent inside-out swing here. And to be fair, Chip, on that wins per start, I mean, his last outing he left with a 2-0 lead against the Phillies, and the bullpen blew it and they lost 5-3. He went into the 7th inning and gave up only 2.
RBI chance for Freddie Freeman, who has 34 of them. 16 homers and a .280 average. And then right off his knuckles and out of play foul. If you're going to get Gray, you got to get him early. 22 of the 49 runs he's allowed have come in the first 2 innings of play. And
yeah,
here he is.
11 in the first and 11 in the second.
Right out of the gate, 2 batters on the road for John Gray today. Gray, another one of those Rockies pitchers that's got the reverse home road splits working. We all know the difficulty of getting outs on the mound in Denver, Colorado. Gray's 3-0 at home. He's 2-4 on the road. ERA almost the same. 4.71 at Coors, 4.63 away from Coors. But twice as many walks on the road as in Denver.
Interesting.
So we'll see what happens today. He's ahead 1-2 to Freddie.
This is a spot, guys, that has really been a problem for Freddie this year. You know, he's got 16 homers, 34 RBIs, but with 2 men on or more, 2 men on base or more, he's 5 for 35 this year. 10 walks.
That's very
Gray really wants to think over this pitch and now wants a new set of signs. Tony Walters is the Colorado catcher, not Nick Hundley today. Now he's got one he likes, and here it comes.
Freddie's doing a good job of fighting off that hard heat in on him. That was 97.
Slow curve got him. How about that pitch?
That was a good pitch.
So Freddie strikes out. 2 on, 1 away from Markakis.
97 to 78. Downer.
That had some tilt to it too.
Two for 7 is Markakis in the series. And hitting .294 with runners in scoring position. We've said it so many times. One of the most important stats for this Braves club has been scoring first. Last night's game, of course, being an exception. Braves are 18 and 17 when they plate the first run in the game. Got a great shot here. 2 on, now 1 out.
You mentioned Syndergaard, but he also is pitching a little bit like Mike Foltynewicz, with that high heat and pretty good curveball to go with it.
Line to second, throw to second, double play, and the Braves are out of the inning. A strikeout and a line drive double play catches Jace Peterson off second. No score after 1. This is a very deep, very talented Colorado lineup, and Carlos Gonzalez, one of the game's great hitters, is going to go to work for the Rockies in the second inning. He's the 5th leading hitter in the National League. I mean, think about this, guys. For the Rockies club, they're 6 games under 500. They have 3 hitters in the top 5 in average. They have 3 hitters with 30 or more multi-hit games, and they have 3 hitters already with 100 or more hits this year.
Well,
pitching.
That's what I was going to say. For me, I'm not trading any of those guys. I'm trying to see if I can find a way to get an arm or two and see what happens. And if it doesn't pan out this year, put yourself in a position for next year to make a run at it, because there's a lot to work around there for me offensively.
Gonzalez at 320, 19 and 55 in the homer and RBI column. That's spoken like a man who doesn't like a 1-0 game. Give me 5 or 6, right?
No, I'll take a 1-0 game if you have to, but it's got to be a good feeling taking the mound knowing those guys are probably going to score you 3-4 most nights.
And for Colorado again, this is an interesting team because of the offense you've spoken of and because of the development of guys like Gray and Bettis and De La Rosa, who pitches so well at home. Are the Rockies in or are they out? The trading deadline is August 1st. Last night's win was a huge win for them, coming back after trailing after 7 innings to win for the first time this year. But they've got Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and then the Braves again, their first 10 games back after the All-Star break. That gets you close to the 31st in the first, and I'm sure will give the Rockies front office a much better idea of whether they can make a realistic run at one of the final playoff spots.
Well, like you said, I mean, the important thing is good curveball right there for a strikeout. The important thing is you got to get off to a good start here, starting the second half of the year, and then as we've talked about, they got to start making Coors Field more of a home field advantage than it has been for them. But I think their biggest problem realistically really is, unless they just get on a phenomenal run like they did the year they went to the World Series, they've got so many teams that they have to climb over.
Right.
That's going to be the problem. If it's 1 or 2 teams, that's one thing, but when it's 5 or 6, that makes it tough.
Fly ball by Descalso into center, and Ciarte's got it. But Joe, as you pointed out a couple of nights ago, historically speaking, a run of 21 out of 22 is not out of the realm of possibility for a Colorado club. It's been done before.
Well, Walt was talking about that. Walt Weiss was talking about that this morning. Something I told him I spoke to you about yesterday, about how you had all these young pitchers come along that had the resources of Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox to talk to, and he said, and he rightly so, he said, well, that was unique. That'll never happen again, to have 3 Hall of Famers sitting on your bench at one time. And I said, yes, but the Braves are missing even one guy.
Right.
You know, Julio's the most experienced guy, and he's not that type. He hasn't been around long enough. And Walt said that's what we need to with our young pitchers. We need somebody to kind of show them the way at times.
Christian Adams, 24 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, gets the start for Trevor Story at short today, Joe.
And De La Rosa is the most experienced guy, and he's 35 years old. He's not that. He doesn't have that personality for it either.
And I'm sure, you know, the mentality out there is even tougher for a pitcher, because you have to learn to look at inflated numbers regardless of what you're doing. Even if you're doing well, there's always that ERA that's going to be more inflated than anywhere else. And that's not an easy thing to come to grips with, because, you know, I guarantee you the casual baseball fan will be, oh, he's 10-3 with a 5 ERA, and not think twice about the fact that they're pitching in Colorado.
Uh-huh.
3 balls and a strike for Adams. And this one's popped up. Ender's been busy, and he'll backpedal a step or 2 and make the play. 6 up, 6 down for Julio Teheran. Jeff Francoeur leads off for Atlanta. Still no score. Reason why Jeff Francoeur is smiling of late. He's got a nice batting run going. Jeff's got a hit in 8 of his last 9 games, and that's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
And that's why his playing time has gone up. He's been very consistent, left or right-handed. It doesn't matter. He's pretty much thought when he signed this year he'd be off the bench to pinch hit, do a good job like he did last year for the Phillies, and maybe platoon against lefties. It's expanded into a lot more. I think at some point, he might, and this is just me saying this, might move to right field and Markakis move to left because Jeff's arm is so much stronger.
No balls and a strike for Jeff. And Gray paints a corner. It's 0-2.
This guy's got a simple delivery, doesn't he, Tom?
Yeah, he does. Not a lot of moving parts, which I love. Not a lot to have to think about trying to fix when things aren't going the way you want them to.
And I'll bet when he's got guys on base, that is so close to a stretch delivery. It doesn't bother him if guys are on base, right? He's got his second strikeout and a good start for Gray in the second inning. 1 out.
I think that was a slider, and that was 85. Yeah, I was watching him warm up in the first inning, and I thought, well, this is odd. He's just warming up all out of the stretch, waiting for him to go to the windup until I realized that is the windup.
Yeah. It might have actually been his changeup.
Might have been.
A strike to Adonis Garcia, who's hit in 6 of his last 8 games. Did anybody hear if there was a scoring change last night?
I did not.
Did not.
Should have been. And Joe, that's a great point you made. Gray is pitching a lot like Mike Fultonevich. One ball, 2 strikes. Adonis with 5 homers. He's knocked in 26. The Braves had a great chance in the first inning, but struck out and then lined into a double play. They had 2 on, nobody out.
Gray's from a little town in Oklahoma, about 2,000 people tops, I would guess, Chandler. But it was home to arguably the best, greatest youth baseball camp, summer camp you've ever seen. Chandler baseball camp. There wasn't any kayaking, there wasn't any fishing, there wasn't any archery. It was all baseball. And originally it was 3-week sessions, and you would play at least 2 games a day with practice in between. They cut it down to 2-week sessions. I would be surprised if John Gray didn't attend it as a kid. Sadly, it's closed now. Probably because they didn't have air conditioning in the cabins and enough electricity for video games.
Well, that, and with travel ball being what it is nowadays, you can't afford to take 2 weeks off, go to a camp.
Right.
Adonis hanging tough. He'll see another 2-2 pitch. Base hit. Well hit by Garcia. And a good at bat. He's rewarded with a 1-out hit. And he's aboard for Ender Inciarte.
You know, sometimes we see Adonis take this big, long swing trying to hit the ball into the 755 club like he did yesterday in batting practice. And then this swing, look how easy that was. Kept his head still, worked around it. Good bat speed, turned on the ball. That was a nice swing.
And after an 8-pitch at bat, he's at first base for Cincinnati, who's riding a 5-game hitting streak. Sliced out of play, foul, strike one for Ender. Runner goes, pitch fouled away. Garcia back to first. No balls, 2 strikes. Double play ball. 1 and not in time. Cincinnati beats the Rapid first. Second glance looked like he got that off the end of the bat. So there's a break. Fast runner at first, but there are 2 outs. And here's Anthony Recker, who has some unique walk-up music. Wrecking ball from Miley Cyrus.
Nice.
Record debut the other night with a base hit in his first Braves at bat. Anthony took the roster spot of Tyler Flowers, who's out with a broken left hand. Recker began the year at AAA Columbus with the Cleveland Indians organization. Braves acquired him in a cash transaction in early May. Had 5 homers, 14 RBIs over his last 21 games with Gwinnett. And Cincinnati runs. The throw to second is late. Man, Walters got rid of that quickly. Yeah, but Cincinnati steals his 9th base.
Put it right on the bag, too. Good thing it was a good jump. I've said before about Ender that he slides fast. You know, he's not hitting the dirt too soon, and he uses the pop-up slide exclusively, so he gets in there a little quicker, too.
And the Rockies will go ahead and walk Recker and pitch to Julio Teheran. Braves pitcher will hit with 2 on and 2 out. Mike Foltynewicz helped himself with a base hit last night. Let's see if Julio can turn the trick this afternoon.
He's got 6 hits, a couple of RBIs.
Best seat in the house. Second scoring chance for the Braves. Cincinnati a huge lead off second, and the shortstop was creeping in behind, but Gray didn't see it.
Well, the guy who did see it was Walters, the catcher, who told him to step off. As for time.
Smart pitch right there. Throwing as hard as you are, you figure the pitcher's coming up there looking for a fastball early that he can at least put in play, and Got the slider.
Gray's had a lot of base runners. He's thrown 32 pitches on a hot day. And that one missed way high to Julio. 1 ball, 1 strike. I can see why this guy was the 3rd pick in the draft. It's tough to teach 96 and 97. Julio shoots it toward Cargo in right, but he'll make the play. And the side is retired. The Braves strand a pair in the 2nd. Rockies come up scoreless after 2.
And Anthony Recker making his Braves debut behind the plate today. He was picked up in May via trade, and he is the subject of our Synovus Greatness Made Here. Now, the big thing about losing Tyler Flowers is that he had such great chemistry with a lot of these young guys. But the good news is that Recker has caught a lot of these guys between Gwinnett and the Mets. He actually rattled off 7 of them to me earlier. He also told me that he caught Julio Teheran's side session on Friday. So I know it is still early in the game, guys, but we are seeing great chemistry between the 2 of them, and he's doing a pretty good job right now filling in for Tyler Flowers.
I like that, Kelsey. I like the thought that, thinking ahead, that Brian Snitker was thinking he might catch the day game on Sunday, and that would be Teheran's turn. So let him work out with him. That's a great idea.
Pitcher-catcher relationship is awfully important, Tommy, huh?
Yes, it is. You have to be on the same page, or at least close to it.
Surprised that AJ can even hold his hand up today with a glove on it.
Brandon Barnes, Tony Walters, and John Gray are coming up. And good pitch from Julio to get ahead of the Colorado left fielder, Steve Reich. 1. Barnes was originally with the Astros. Was acquired by the Rockies with Jordan Lyles for Dexter Fowler back in 2013.
Boy, Dexter Fowler better get back quick. This kid Almora for the Cubs is playing great in center field.
Barnes is no kid. He's 29 now. As this one's rolled to d'Arnaud. He's got it, and the throw is in time at first. 7 up, 7 down for Julio Teheran.
I know the Rockies have firsthand knowledge about how good Julio is, given his record against them, but I'm sure teams like Colorado come in here and face him and wonder, how is this guy 3-8?
Oh, no question. Yeah, absolutely you do.
Run support's one reason why. Braves have not scored hardly at all for Teheran this year. 40 total runs of support in 18 starts this year. And none so far today. And so if you're one who doesn't believe in the win stat meaning as much because it's a factor of other things, well, like Shelby Miller last year for the Braves, Julio Teheran might be Exhibit A in 2016. 90 hits in 120 innings now for Teheran. 25 walks, 109 strikeouts now. As this one's looped into shallow right for Tony Walters. He's got a base hit. First of the day for the Rockies.
Wins and losses don't always tell the story, but it's usually a pretty good indicator of how you're pitching. If you're doing the job most nights, you're going to be rewarded for it. There are always exceptions to the rule on both sides.
Yes, yes. And I was thinking about we talked about Fultonevich last night and the percentage of runs that he's given up by way of home run. Well, same thing with Julio. 16 home runs. He's only given up 39 earned runs.
John Gray's going to try to bunt, and he does. Back to the mound. A look at second, but the smart play is to first. Sacrifice is good. Runner at second, and now 2 outs. So when you factor in Julio's low run support, and you factor in that he's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 11 of his 18 starts this year, something Joe has said so many times this year, he's the best 3-8 pitcher in baseball. And that's a list you don't really want to be on.
No, you don't. But you know what? There's always going to be guys on that list. You know, I mean, that's just the nature of the game. And you know, some years you can't buy a run when you're out there. Other years you get tons of them, and you know, you just hope over the course of what you hope is a long career, you don't have too many years where you're on that list.
Shelby Miller was that guy last year.
Yeah, and for Shelby, it was almost comical.
Yeah.
The day after day or start after start lack of run support. I think it was 22 of his 30 or 31 starts. He got 1 run or less.
Well, he went 20-some starts without a win.
Right.
Because of that.
And I really hope he finds himself at AAA for Arizona. That was the big story after the break. Shelby Miller was sent back to the minor leagues by the Diamondbacks, hoping he can rediscover what got him here in the first place. No balls and a strike for Charlie Blackmon. Dangerous hitter. And right off his thumbs to the screen, it's 0-2.
Yeah, it's almost the case with Shelby where you say, you know what, All-Star break is here. Get away for a week, unplug, get away, don't think about baseball. When you come back, here's where we're going to start, and just start from scratch. You know, not so much reinvent yourself, but just get back to that feeling of getting out on the mound and doing what comes natural, and stop thinking about all the other stuff you're probably thinking about.
Two strikes.
This is another guy Walt Weiss was talking a lot about this morning, and that's Blackmon. And I told him what I had said the last couple of nights about how I was surprised that he had turned out as good as he was, that I projected him as like a 4th outfielder, and Walt said so would the rest of us. But through his hard work and desire, he said he had a tremendous desire to be a high on base leadoff guy for us, and really worked at it.
No balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Boy, a disappearing slider gets Charlie Blackmon. Big pitch for Julio Teheran. That's his 3rd strikeout. Top of the Braves orders coming up. Nothing after 2.5.
With the MLB.com app, @BAT app. Just stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com @BAT, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
That was well done, by the way.
Not bad. I stumbled on one part, but
it is Christmas in July here at Turner Field today, and Santa Claus is here, as you see, but doesn't feel like Christmas.
No, it doesn't.
Where's Will Ferrell when you need him?
Santa!
I absolutely love that movie, by the way.
So funny.
Is it not the best?
I like it when he's going to fix the star on the top of the tree. I got it.
Uses the couch for the trampoline. 1 ball, 1 strike. I watch that movie at home with the kids, obviously, around Christmas time. And I always wonder, what do you think James Caan was thinking when Will Ferrell starts tickling him, which had to be ad-libbed, when he tucked him in? You can almost see it on his face, like, what have I gotten myself into with this crazy man? As Jace Peterson rolls out for the first out of the Braves' 3rd, 1 down.
So the concert went well last night for Chase. Like they had all kinds of lights and smoke machines and everything working out there.
Yeah, our crew stayed behind and actually videoed, I guess used videotape. I don't know what it's called now. I guess digitally recorded, probably the best way to describe it. The whole concert. And it's a fly ball into shallow left. Is going to drop in for a single. Barnes broke back, and by the time he recovered, it was too late. And d'Arnaud is 2 for 2 after doing his Robert Plant impersonation last night. And the reviews were pretty good.
I made it through the night. I hope she.
Freddie Freeman, the batter. He struck out his first time. And he hooks this one down the right field line and out of play. We've told the story before about Chase and his brother Travis. His mom is a classically trained vocalist. And Chase got his musical appreciation from his mom, and he told the story earlier this year that when he and Travis were going to Little League practice, Mom made him sing the arias from the Phantom of the Opera in the back seat. 0-2. Boy, Gray's saved some of his best pitches for Freddie Freeman.
He certainly has. Freddie's going to tell you that it seems like the last 3 days Bettis and De La Rosa did too. He's 0 for 8 in the series. Try that changeup again.
And it was a beauty. Freeman's down on strikes for a second time. Gray has 3 strikeouts. Tehran has 3 strikeouts. Still no score as Nick Markakis digs in.
Tommy, I know I'm going to simplify this, but I'm thinking about it from a hitter's standpoint. These guys that are all throwing so hard, these starters, it's almost like they don't even need a breaking ball. If they've got a changeup off of that 95 to 97 and just to show you, just a breaking ball to show you, they could get by with 2.
I got by with 2 and I threw 85. So, you know, I think that to me, that's the best combination. Now, probably a little bit more difficult.
Runner goes. Walters couldn't pull the trigger. And Darno has a stolen base. Braves are getting aggressive on the base paths early on. That's the second steal of the game for the Atlanta offense.
Yeah, I think the breaking ball in general, whether it be a slider or a curveball, is probably a little bit easier to learn and get a feel for than a changeup is. But you're never going to get me to argue against anybody that has a fastball changeup combination for that reason. I think because as a hitter, man, is it real? If you have, it's so hard to distinguish between those 2 pitches, and if you've got a guy that's throwing 90 something that you got to cheat to get to, you almost have no chance of hitting the changeup.
Well, and a guy like this, whose delivery is so simple, as we said already, and there's no real distinction between how the ball's coming out of his hand, it's impossible to read.
Right. But I think, you know, a lot of times in general, these kinds of guys that throw hard like this, those are the guys that tend to struggle with feel on a changeup.
He's had a good one today. He's gotten Freeman to swing and miss twice as Markakis digs in.
Would you say the same thing applied to Smoltz? I mean, didn't he struggle to throw a changeup?
Yeah, he struggled with this. He really struggled with a straight change, you know, and inevitably his changeup ended up being that little split finger thing that he threw. And you know, it was a good pitch for him because his slider was so good and his fastball was hard that you still had to cheat to try to get to those, so you'd get fooled with a changeup. But yeah, he struggled with a straight changeup.
And to the point you guys were talking about earlier in the series, if they're going to make half of their starts in Colorado where a breaking ball isn't going to be as effective, doesn't the fastball changeup repertoire play best of all in Coors Field?
I think it does, and really from the standpoint of your workload, so to speak. You know, I was always more sore the day after I pitched in Colorado than anywhere else. So I would imagine if you're a guy that's going out there trying to throw breaking balls and you have to throw the ball harder or work harder to get your ball to break out there, I would think that would lend itself to a little bit more soreness as well.
Well, he's had all 3 pitches in this game. Good fastball, changeup, and 2 real good breaking balls to Markakis here.
More sore in Colorado.
Just had to work harder.
Yeah.
You know, and but you know, a guy like this or a guy in general, we always used to say if you can go out and command 2 pitches, you're going to pitch a good game. If you're commanding 3, you're probably going to throw a shutout.
Ripped foul. Markakis was all over that pitch. And the count stays 3-2.
You know, and I think that's a mistake that a lot of guys make in today's game and you know, in their side sessions is, you know, they have the thought process that every time they get on the mound, they got to have all 3 or all 4 pitches working. And that's usually not the case, you know, and if you just focus on getting 2 that are really good and bring your other ones along, you know, you're in a much better position than just beating your head against the wall thinking that all 3 are going to be equal at any given time.
Good at bat by Markakis to keep the inning alive. Jeff Francour's the hitter.
We were told that about A.J. Ramos, the prime closer for the Marlins, that he's got 4 pitches. But on any given night when he starts warming up, he's not sure what his best 2 are going to be, and he just tries to figure that out and then take those 2 with him.
See, and to me, that should be something that you know. You should know when you go out there, okay, here's my number 1 and here's my number 2. Now, my number 2 may not be real great on a given night, so I'm going to lean more on my 3 and my 4. But you shouldn't be walking out there saying, all right, I have my fastball and I have no idea what my next best pitch is going to be. You ought to have a pretty good idea every time you go out there. Well, here's number 1 and here's number 2. Let's try to get these 2 working, and then we'll bring the other ones along.
2 on, 2 out. Braves are doing a good job of making Gray work in this game. He's over 50 pitches now. Not through the 3rd inning.
A lot of base runners. He avoided his usual problems in the 1st and 2nd.
What a luxury that pitch is right there. Behind the count. All right, here it is. If you hit it, tip your cap. If not, I've got an even count.
Well, and the beauty of it is, and I think this is where a lot of these guys get lost with it, is when you're throwing that hard, you don't have to be pinpoint necessarily. That gives you the chance to get away with that one that you miss up a little bit with, or miss over the heart of the plate a little bit. It doesn't have to be on that bottom corner on either side of the plate, and it's a nice luxury to have.
Bottom dropped out of that pitch. Is that a slider?
That might have been the slider.
Yeah, 91 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It'll be interesting to see if he follows it up now with that 78-mile-an-hour curveball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Another slider, and it's Slud. Francoeur is down on strikes for the 2nd time. Gray has 4 of them. 4th inning, no score. Yankees have but 1 hit. Julio Teheran's pitching a great game. Braves had base runners all over the place early on. Time for our cold hard facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
Wow. 1-9 against the Rocks over the last 10 games, and less than 3 runs a game. High ERA. I mean, your ERA is going to be ballooned because some of those games are going to be at Coors Field. So like you said before, you got to kind of adjust accordingly. But the runs scored, seems to me, I mean, we could go back and look, but that 4-game series before the break last year, 11 runs.
Braves scored 11 runs in 4 games in Denver.
That's crazy.
You usually have a chance to do that in one night.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a chance for a little revenge next week when we head to Denver for 4 more games after our stop in Cincinnati. Julio Teheran goes to work in the 4th inning. LeMahieu, Arenado, and Carlos Gonzalez coming up. Julio looks exceptionally sharp after 2 rough outings before the All-Star break. Perfect inning out in San Diego. He's allowed just 1 hit. And he's had a good fastball. He's pitched in. His breaking ball looks good. Walters soft hit in the 3rd, the only base runner he's allowed.
All-Star break may have come along just at the right time for Julio. I know that travel can wear you down too, but thankfully they have started making the return on Friday and not start back on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which was a real test for the guys who made the All-Star team.
Full count for DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, there's no question that mentally this first half has to have worn on Julio a little bit, and you know those last 2 starts before the break may be indicative of that, or looking forward to the break a little bit. But being out there in the All-Star game among those guys, those peers, probably recharge him a little bit mentally.
Nice rally to get LeMahieu on strikes.
Yeah, those are some good breaking balls.
Another question for you guys, and it's been bandied about all over the internet about the trade deadline coming up on August 1st. John Coppola has steadfastly said that he is not going to trade Julio Teheran. That can't help but weigh on a player's mind. They read and hear the same stuff and wonder if they're staying and if they're going. Obviously, if John says he's not going to trade him, we have to take him at his word. But I would imagine with the way he's pitching and the price for starting pitching and the fact that he's so controllable, he's a great value for the Braves, and Atlanta would love to have him going into SunTrust Park next year. But when you see what San Diego got for Drew Pomeranz, 14th overall prospect in baseball, with all due respect to Drew Pomeranz, he's not as good as Julio Teheran, is he?
No, I agree with you. I'll take Copy at his word. But if he picks up the phone and somebody's offering similar to what they got for Shelby Miller,
yeah, got to listen.
You got to listen.
Right. So from a player's perspective, this time of year, right after the All-Star break, on one hand, I'm sure it is refreshing, but it's got to be unsettling too, no matter what your contract status is. Because if you're playing well on a team that isn't going anywhere, you know there's a chance, at least in the back of your head, that you might be somewhere else.
I can honestly say that was never a problem for me. I never had to worry about that.
I was going to say the same thing. I didn't either, but you still
different reasons.
Yeah. But I still think it's still something that weighs over the clubhouse. You know, for so many years, and I was here, it was always that, okay, who are we going to add?
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the anticipation of who is that going to be, you know, it weighs on things a little bit, because, you know, the flip side of it is, you know, there's probably a good chance somebody that you're hanging around with at that given time isn't going to be there anymore as a result of who you're adding. But also, you know, it's almost that you hear it, the anticipation comes, and then when the day comes and goes where you really didn't do anything, there's kind of that, oh, we didn't do anything. You know, we didn't get anybody. So there's a lot of psychological effects that this time of year has on a ball club.
I want to follow up on that after this pitch,
which is coming to Nolan Arenado, and a bouncer to d'Arnaud. Big hop, and Nolan flipped the bat away in frustration. Braves have, knock on wood, held him in check for the most part in the series.
I thought that's where John Schuerholz was at his best. I thought he did such a great job of not affecting the core of you guys during that great stretch out there. It seemed like when you did add a player, it was with minor league prospects.
Right.
just as some team might try to get Julio or somebody else. But he never let the core of a first place ball club be affected by adding someone that you needed.
100% true. And you know, he played it very close to the vest all the time too, in terms of who we were even looking at, you know, and I'm sure it's even harder today, but you know, even back then you still had reporters and people that were speculating on, oh, this guy might be available or that, but you'd never really hear John ever say, well, here's what we're looking to add, or here's what we're looking, you know, you never heard any of that. You just heard the rumblings of who it may be, and then the next thing you know, something happened, and like you said, most of the time it didn't involve the core of the guys that were at the big league level.
Well, I think that's what's so exciting for the Braves now, the opportunity they have, not just now, but trade deadline next year. We all know what the Braves did not have in the farm system entering this 2015 season. Farm system has been ranked as one of the best in baseball, if not the best in baseball. They've had another very successful draft. They've had another incredibly successful international signing period. And as John Hart has said, look, you need 10 to get one, 10 pitchers to get one who's going to be really productive for you at the major league level. The Braves feel like they have been able to do that. I guess the next challenge for them is finding some bats to supplement all those good arms that everyone's talking about.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's something Coppy has said as much recently, didn't he? That
yes.
We're at the point now where if we do some of these things, we're going to start looking at adding some bats and some guys that are more major league ready as opposed to prospects.
3 balls and a strike. Tehran's got a one-hitter working. And a fly ball to center. Should be handled by Inciarte. He is there. Julio is pitching a beauty against a hot-hitting Colorado club. He's allowed 1 hit through 4, and he looks for a run of support when the Braves come up next.
Hearing the guys in the booth talk a lot this series about pitching in Coors Field up there in Colorado. Well, I spoke to Rockies manager Walt Wise about that. He was saying, you know, Kelsey, pitching is really the thing that we struggle with the most here. He said nobody's signing up to pitch here. No veterans want to pitch in Coors Field because they know they're probably going to get beat up. So he has to work with a lot of young guys. So I asked him, what do you really look for? And he said, guys with mental toughness. And I said, okay, well, what about mechanically? What pitches? And you guys hit the nail on the head. He said he really looks for guys with a good fastball and a changeup to really complement it. So you were right. Congratulations, guys. Bonus points.
First for everything, Kelsey.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that some of the Rockies people said about John Gray. I'm sure as a young pitcher, okay, I'm fulfilling my dream of getting to the big leagues, but oh Lord, I've got to pitch in Colorado.
Yep.
And a couple of their people said to me before the game that they feel like John Gray has turned the corner. I don't want to use the term he's gotten over the fear of, but they say he's gotten over the shall we say, less than being thrilled by having to try to make pitches in the most difficult place to pitch in our league.
No, look, you know, to me, look, whenever I took a mound, particularly here in Atlanta, it was always, you know what? If I hold this game to 3 runs or less, I got a really good chance of winning this game. And usually that was the case. When you go to Colorado, you got to bump it a little bit, you know, because you know you're going to probably give up 1 more at least on average, but you know you're going to score a lot more too, you know. So now that becomes, well, let's keep it to 4 or less, and I'm going to have a pretty good chance of winning.
Lined into center field by Garcia. Adonis is 2 for 2. And a good start for the Braves in the 4th.
I like what you said, Chip, about not being afraid. If I were the Rockies, I want guys like John Gray, who he's not exhibiting that right now, but who go out there with some swagger at Coors Field that I don't care if you hit a home run or not. I'm coming after you.
Right.
I got the stuff to beat you tonight, and you may run into one, and you might hit a 2-run homer because I walked a guy, but that's not going to be enough to beat me. I think that's the kind of mindset they've got to have when they go out there every night at that ballpark.
Bunt by Inciarte. Gray's got it. Flipped to first. Good play. And a good result for Atlanta. Garcia's in scoring position for Recker, the 8th place hitter, with 1 man out.
You know, to your point, Joe, you're right. You know, to me, part of it should be, hey, I know it's not the greatest place in the world, but to pitch, but I'm going to do everything I can to dispel that theory, right? On an individual level. But also, to my point, like I was saying, I would think as a Rockies pitcher, you're walking out to the mound going, okay, you're probably going to score a few runs, but have you seen what my offense does in this ballpark?
Yeah, we hit last.
You know?
Yeah.
So I feel really good about what my guys are going to do against your guy, and I think I'm going to hold your team to less runs and less offense than what your guy is going to be able to do against my guys. So let's go. Let's get at it.
Well, we had Arbuckle look up your numbers pitching in Colorado.
I'm going to say they're really good.
You know what they are. And do you know what the opponent batting average was against you pitching in Denver? Do you know?
No, I have no idea.
Rockies hit .303 against you. Now, off first glance, wow, they hit me really hard, right? Your ERA, .394. Kept it under 4. Made 15 starts, 3 and 4 all time against the Rockies out west. That is really good.
That's not bad, yeah.
And again, factoring in the era in which you played and the players on that Colorado team that you had to face, that's remarkable work.
Well, it's funny how you remember good starts and good games and the other ones kind of fade, but I remember him pitching some really good games there. Did you not win one game 1-0 there?
I know I had a shutout or 2 shutouts. I don't know if it was 1-0, but but there again, I also had a couple on the other end where, you know, I gave up 6 or 7 in the first inning, and can promise you there was nowhere else in baseball that I walked off the mound thinking, all right, I still got a chance to win. That didn't go well, but I still got a chance.
Right.
And sure enough, I think that was the game that I got into it with Gary Darling the first time. That sure enough, by about the 5th inning, it was a 7-6 game.
Well, you got 6 runs of support on average pitching in Denver, and you did face the Rockies. You lost 1-0 to Kevin Ritz. Dante Bichette had an RBI against you in that game. And
Arbuckle told me he had 2 complete game shutouts there. 2-0 and 14-0.
Oh, he scored 2 touchdowns.
Tough to lose with 14.
It is. Although in that ballpark, you might have a chance.
2-2 for Recker. As this one's hit in the air into shallow center. Blackman to his right. Pats the glove, makes the catch. And there are 2 out. That's why I think maybe the Hideo Nomo no-hitter in Denver might be one of the most remarkable pitching achievements in National League history, if not baseball history. And with no disrespect to perfect games and 13-inning no-hitters and the like, to do that in that ballpark is just spectacular.
Yeah, against that team.
Yeah.
That group of guys.
Julio Teheran bats.
Well, I'm glad he's laughing. That's pretty funny.
I think he thought that was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball off the ribcage.
Yeah, he did.
Right now he's saying, "Oh God."
The Lambada.
Yeah, somehow he thought it was going to hit him in the foot too, I guess. You'll hear about that in the dugout.
To finish the point about 1-0 games in Colorado, there were 0 one-run games, 1-0 games that is, in the first 10 years of Coors Field's history. Line drive into right. Since 2005, there have been 9 of them. So the humidor must be taking effect at Mile High level. No score. We head to the 5th. John Gray locked in a scoreless duel after 4 innings. Julio very sharp, allowing only 1 hit.
Well, remember, the first 9 pitches of the ball game were fastballs. He established that, as Tom pointed out, right away, and that's helped everything else.
Yeah, the command of the fastball, and that's made the breaking balls much better and given them a better feel. And to your point earlier, or your keys to the game, GPS getting back into the strike zone with quality strikes has certainly been the case today.
50 pitches for Tehran so far. And he will face Descalso, Adams, and Brandon Barnes, the Rockies left fielder. Tehran started the game by retiring the first 7 men in order. Tony Walters has the lone Colorado hit. That was in the 3rd. Descalso lined out his first time up. Descalso's turned into a super utility type player for the Rockies. He started 6 games in left field for them. The first 6 he started in the major leagues, by the way. And today he's playing first base. And that one's right off the lip of the Braves dugout, and it ricochets back out onto the field.
That's good. It's going to hit the lip of the dugout and not some fan sitting in the front row.
And it looks like Julio and Record, Tommy, are working very well together.
Yeah, they are. They haven't seen Julio shake off a whole lot. Seems like they've been in pretty good sync.
2-2. Braves will face the Cincinnati Reds beginning tomorrow. Here's a shocker. Milwaukee and the Reds have a 0-0 game in the 7th in Cincinnati.
Wow.
A notorious hitter's park.
Tell you, Milwaukee's got a couple of pretty good starters in Nelson and Junior Guerra, who's pitched real well for them. I don't know who's going today.
Zach Davies is going today for him.
So there's 3.
And I'm betting you everybody's calling Milwaukee about Jonathan Lucroy, who may be available at the deadline. The 2-2 pitch is launched into center. Inciarte on a dead sprint, still going back, got there, a step out of the track, and he retires Descalso on the hardest hit ball by the Rockies today. 1 out.
Another good read by Ender. And when a ball's hit like this, it's not real high, not a long, deep, high fly ball. Good idea not to take your eye off of it. He didn't.
Here's Adams. He popped out his first time up. Broken bat. 1 hopper to second, and the throw to first is an easy out. 2 away. Mets are winning today in Philadelphia. 3-0 is the score. DeGrom and Eflin are the pitchers. Mets have lost 4 out of 5 games. They've been without Cespedes, who's got a quad problem again. Not sure if Yoenis is in the lineup today. The Mets trying to hang on and get some reinforcements as they try to chase down the red hot Nationals.
Yeah, they're tied now with Miami, 7 games out. Nats have won 5 in a row.
And Chan Ho tells us that Cespedes is playing today. The Mets and Miami tied in the East and also tied for the second wild card. The wild card of the National League leader would be the Dodgers if play were to stop today.
Tell you what helps Washington. Both the Marlins and the Mets have a losing record within the division. The Nationals are 20 games over 500 for the year, and they are 16 games over 500 against the division. They're 30-14 against the East.
To third, Garcia's got it. Big hop, perfect throw, easy inning for Tehran. 3 up, 3 down. 10 pitches subdues Colorado. Top of the order coming up for Atlanta. Runs this season in the first 2 innings, but Atlanta couldn't cash in. 2 on, nobody out in the first, 2 on in the second as well.
Well, actually, his fastball gets your attention, but it's his secondary pitches that have been very effective today too.
Yeah, Braves have had some base runners, left some 6 guys on base through the first 4 at-bats, but he's done a nice job pitching out of trouble, and strikeouts have certainly been a part of it again today. But like you said, Joe, get your attention with that fastball, but man, his slider and his changeup have been pretty good too.
And he should be #1 among rookies because Kenta Maeda is anything but a rookie coming over from Japan.
First pitch is popped up by Jace Peterson. That's hit into right center. And Charlie Blackmon's got it. 1 pitch and 1 out.
You know, if you're a guy that is projected to go high in the draft, as Gray was, you know, top 5 or 10 picks, and you get taken by Colorado with the 3rd pick, you're probably kind of slumping your chair just a little bit. I mean, somebody's going to take you and somebody's going to pay you.
Yeah.
But when it's Colorado, you kind of go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never hear that from the hitters, though, right?
No.
No.
Sign me for whatever you want. I've won the lottery.
Yeah.
What would be interesting is to see the reaction if they heard their name and what pick they were and found out what team it was after the fact. So you could be in with the 3rd pick, John Gray, and yeah, selected by the Rockies. Oh, I got a pitch there. But like I said, hey, you know what? Take it as a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, be the group of guys that goes out there and figures out how to win more often at home and make it even more of a home field advantage.
Well, you know what? That's a good point. As Darno rips 1 foul, I think the 2nd highest city in elevation is Atlanta.
Yep.
You guys had to deal with the old launching pad right across the street.
Yeah, and
there wasn't a Coors Field then.
That was a big part of our internal mantra, was we're going to disprove that theory. And, you know, we did, obviously, but you have to have that mentality that you're going to stop it.
Ooh, pretty pitch, but just missed.
That's a good point, Chip. And when this ballpark was built, I'll always remember Fred McGriff saying, when they were talking about the dimensions of this place, 390 to right center, especially 380 to the gap in left center, Fred said they didn't talk to me about that. They talked to Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz about dimensions.
Well, I mean, you know, too, look, I think at some point in time, Colorado has to become a little bit more of an advantage, not only to them as a team, but to this pitching staff, because they're pitching there more often. They should understand it. They should know how to deal with it, versus guys that are coming in there pitching there once a year and aren't looking forward to it.
Swing and a miss at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. So that's the 100th strikeout for John Gray this year. He's got 5 today, 2 up, 2 down. And Freddie Freeman's the man he's pitched toughest of all. He struck him out twice.
Home runs had been an issue for Gray. He had given up a home run in 8 straight starts until his last outing against Philadelphia. He's given up 12 in all. But even that's not a high number when half your starts are out there.
No, not at all. Yeah, like I said, it's to me, it's all in what they are. I'd rather give up 12 solo shots than to give up 5 multi-run home runs, because those are the ones that are really going to kill you.
From 95 to 78, and for Freddie Freeman, deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
This is exactly what he did to him in the first inning. Wow. Freddie Freeman strikes out for a 3rd time. That one right across the shoe top. 6 strikeouts for Gray. 2 in a row, ends the 5th. We go to the 6th inning. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the Rockies. We've got a good pitchers duel. All-star Julio Teheran and flamethrower John Gray. 0-0. Weekend, July 29th through the 31st. When the Phillies are in town, there'll be tons of opportunities to see your favorite Braves legends. Go to Braves.com/alumni weekend for a full schedule of the weekend's events. I know Greg McMichael is excited about that, as are we. That's one of my favorite weekends of the baseball season, when all the legends and even guys like Tom Glavine come to the booth for
exactly
a chat for an inning or so.
Legend in my own mind.
There you go. Isn't that fun for you guys too? I mean, yeah. One thing I always notice is we had Billy Wagner in the locker room the other day. He's around chatting with everybody, smiling, telling jokes. Whether you're 22 in the major league locker room, 42, 52, 62 years old, once you guys go back in that room, it's like you're 18 or 25 again, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like you just saw each other yesterday. You know? Right? I mean, you pick right back up with the conversation and getting on each other and doing all that stuff. So it's fun. And
the other thing is they draw a crowd.
Right.
You know, Billy was standing there at the corner, and there were 6 or 8 people standing around, just listening to him.
And I think most of us will tell you that when you get out of the game, that's the one thing you miss, is that clubhouse camaraderie, goofing around with the guys stuff.
By the way, I forgot to mention it yesterday, and now that we mentioned Billy Wagner, we have great news. Billy Wagner got his truck back.
Yeah.
So
I think it was that APB we put out.
Yeah.
I think that really helped.
That was the first thing I asked him when I saw him yesterday. It wasn't, hey, Billy, how you doing? It was, hey, did you get your truck back yet? He goes, yeah, I just got it today, as a matter of fact.
So that's good news. As Tony Walters hits one toward Markakis and right, Nick makes the running catch. And there's the first out of the Colorado 6th.
He was convinced, though, that it was a little league coach or somebody that stole his car, because nothing was missing but his son's baseball equipment. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure after a very short trip to Academy Sports and Outdoors.
That's right.
I was just thinking, of all the things to lose, I think Billy probably knows where to go replace that.
Yeah, pretty good chance.
One out for John Gray, who sacrificed his only time up there. Julio's retired 9 in a row after starting the game, setting down 7 straight. And the Rockies have only 1 hit.
Oh, check that. Thank you.
Yeah, he went. Letter high, strike 3. Gray's not going to argue. Julio's got 5 strikeouts of his own. 2 outs.
Need to get him a run.
Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon. He has struck out twice in 2 trips. Mentioned the Braves are off to Cincinnati. We start a series with the Reds tomorrow night. Matt Whistler will make his first start after the break. Brandon Finnegan will be the Red starter. Tuesday night, join us at 7:10 for Tyrell Jenkins. He'll pitch in game 2 against left-hander Cody Reed. And then Wednesday, Lucas Harrell versus Anthony DeSclafani. That's a 12:35 start. Then we make our way to Denver Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next week.
That'd be nice. 4 days out in Denver.
Supposed to be hot.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe you get a break from the heat, but doesn't sound like it.
Forecast is for it to be hotter than here.
Oh.
And this is going to be a long road trip, Tom. You might have 3 or 4 sections of seats installed by the time we get back at SunTrust Park.
Good point.
Well, I'll have to take next weekend off to go to Cooperstown, but other than that, I'll be at it. I'll be over there working.
Oh, okay.
2-0 pitch. Nice class going into the Hall of Fame this year, huh? Mike Piazza and Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it's the highest draft, or the lowest draft pick, I guess, in Griff's case, and the highest draft pick in Mike's case to go in, I think.
Griffey was 1-1 and Piazza was a real late round selection.
62nd round or something like that. And was drafted as a favor because Mike's dad and Tommy Lasorda were friends.
Yeah.
3 balls and a strike. And Blackmon lines one the other way. That's the second Colorado hit. And Blackman's a base stealing threat. He had 43 of them last year. 10 this year.
His swing is kind of long looking, but it stays in the zone a long time. It's a real nice flat swing through the zone. So he's got a good chance of making good contact, and did there.
Blackman's got a pretty good lead. Teheran's got an excellent pickoff move. This might be fun. Eric Young, who's a terrific base stealer himself, is the Rockies' first base coach. And yes, his son was Eric Young Jr., who played briefly with the Braves. And Ewy's way out of the first base coaching box, up the first base line. He's got an excellent angle to look at Julio's pickoff move.
LeMahieu credits a guy I used to play with really getting his career going offensively when he was in the Cubs organization and playing in A-ball. Richie Zisk was his hitting coach, and really gives him a lot of credit to making him a better hitter and getting him to the big leagues quicker. '80 or 1981. Richie came to the Mariners with a contract that I thought was the greatest contract in history. It was amazing. He'd gotten it from the Rangers. $10 years, $2 million.
A year or total?
Total. I couldn't believe it.
The Babe in the Woods asks,
yeah,
per year? Come on, man. No balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes, and it's popped out of play. I think the best contract in baseball right now is Bobby Bonilla's deal.
No doubt.
Yeah. The deferred money deal that he signed with the Mets. I think Bobby Bo's got another 10-15 years. Every July 1st, I believe he gets $1.5 million or something like that.
That's a good deal.
And yes, Tom, that is per year. That's
it is.
That's a good deal. It's a really good deal. Richie Zisk, Pirates, Rangers, now in charge of pro scouting with the Cubs. Close play. Played with the White Sox in 1977. 30 homers, 101 RBIs. Their team nicknamed one of the greatest of all time, the South Side Hitmen.
Yeah, that was great.
And Richie Zisk was traded to the Seattle Mariners in a huge deal. Brian Allard, Rick Auerbach, Ken Clay, Steve Finch, and Jerry Don Gleaton for Larry Cox, Rick Honeycutt, Willie Horton, Mario Mendoza, and Leon Roberts. And won the Comeback Player of the Year in 1981.
Yeah, he could hit.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Got him.
Oh, he got back. Oh, Julio Teheran was running to the dugout. He saved his best move for that throw, and somehow Blackmon got back to the bag.
Freddie must have missed the tag somehow.
Must have given him the swim move, knowing he was a dead out. Rode that right arm back. Glove was there.
Sneaky little move.
I think he's safe.
I do too.
And give Hunter Wendelstedt a lot of credit. That has got to be a tough call to make. And he had an excellent look at it. And what a great angle.
Outstanding.
So Julio had him picked off. LeMahieu still up there. Blackman with another quarter step out on that lead. And the ball pops away. Runner at second. 2-2 count now. Another wild pitch, the 9th by the Braves in this series.
That one I'm okay with. 2 strikes. You're trying to get him to chase. Do everything you can to block it. Just doesn't stay where you want it to. But like we talked about, fastballs to the backstop. That's a different story.
By the way, I was a little off on the Bobby Bonilla math. It's almost 1.2, not 1.5 million. Through 2035.
Wow.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Jace Peterson to his right. Long throw, and he got his man. And that retires the side. Nothing greater than compound interest. Bobby Bonilla will tell you that. We head to the home 6th. Tom Glavine, a.k.a. Bob the Builder, with us here on a sunny Sunday here in Atlanta. Boy, what a great pitcher's duel this afternoon. John Gray and Julio Teheran have matched 0 for 0 after 5.5 innings of play. Braves have had more chances than Colorado. 2 on in the first, 2 on in the second, 2 on in the third, leadoff man on in the fourth, but have not been able to solve the hard throwing Oklahoma Sooner John Gray yet. That'll reach the seats off the bat of Nick Markakis. And a fan from Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, just missed catching that pop up.
Boy, he has used that curveball efficiently. Hasn't overused it. He just spots it nicely.
Today, by the way, is another big anniversary in Major League Baseball, as Markakis skipped over that ball in the dirt. This date in 1941, Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak came to an end.
Is that guy's name Ken Keltner?
Yes.
Is that right? Third baseman?
Cleveland.
Made a couple of really great plays on him. And then Joe went on to hit like in 20-some more in a row.
It was 16 in a row after the 56. It's a great article on that online today on ESPN.com. As this one's hit towards second, LeMahieu gives ground, got the Sunday hop. During his 56-game hitting streak, Joe DiMaggio hit .408, 15 homers, and 55 RBIs. He struck out 5 times.
Gosh.
In 56 games. But it was not his longest hitting streak as a professional player. Joe DiMaggio, like Ted Williams, was a California kid and played in the old Pacific Coast League. And in 1933, Joe DiMaggio had a 61-game hitting streak while playing for the San Francisco Seals.
Now, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, those teams were not affiliated with any major league team. It was a league unto itself.
Almost like a third league.
Kind of like a semi-pro league in a way, but they were professional. Hollywood Stars, I think, were one of those teams as well. So any team could come in and buy those players from a team. Man, he's had Freddie and Jeff's number, hasn't he?
He's faced him 6 times. He struck him out all 6. And that's 7 strikeouts for Gray. Yeah, there are stories about guys getting purchased by some of these major league clubs, and they're actually disappointed because they didn't want to leave.
Right.
That league was so good. Or the Tacoma Rainiers, I believe, in the PCL at the time. The San Diego Padres were a Pacific Coast League team.
Oakland had a team too.
The Oaks.
Yep.
Some great players in the old Pacific Coast League. That's a record that's got to be unbreakable, don't you think? 56 games in a row with the specialization in pitching we see nowadays.
That would be one I would bet on not being broken.
DiMaggio extended his hitting streak in his last at bat in 10 of those 56 games. And that was the year that Ted Williams hit 400 and didn't win the MVP. It was Joe DiMaggio that did it. In fact, Ted Williams, I think in the All-Star game, hit a home run, which he said was the most satisfying home run he hit in the major leagues when he beat the National League in the Midsummer Classic.
I know there were a couple of times where he was on the verge of having his streak broken, and his teammates were just trying everything they could to get him one more at bat. And one of them, the Yankees were leading, 5 or 6 to nothing, and somebody bunted, and they knew it wasn't the right thing to do, but they got a bunt base hit to get him one more at bat, and he singled to extend it.
Oh, the unwritten rules of baseball nowadays, what would that have meant for Joe DiMaggio?
Well, they were unwritten then too.
Yeah.
It wasn't looked upon favorably.
Garcia thought that was ball 4. Instead, he's got a full count. Gray's retired 8 straight after Adonis singled last time up. In fact, Garcia's 2 for 2 today. And that's well hit to right, but playable for Cargo. He's got it with a hop. And we head to inning number 7. What a game. What pitching. Teheran and Gray, no score. 3 pitches, takes care of the Rockies leadoff man. And a swing and a miss. Boy, a disappearing slider gets Charlie Blackmon. Big pitch for Julio Teheran. Where's Will Ferrell when you need him?
Santa! Oh my God, Santa's here!
Well, both pitchers would love the gift of a run.
Yeah.
Teheran and Gray have pitched great. And Julio's got the middle of the order coming up for the Rockies. Arenado, Gonzalez, and Descalso are coming up. One more note on that Joe DiMaggio 1941 season. The Yankees won 90 games that year. DiMaggio had 541 at bats, 30 homers, 125 knocked in. And how many times he struck out? 541 ABs.
Not many.
Give me a guess. Come on.
I saw.
You saw it.
Yeah.
541 at bats.
Joe DiMaggio, who never struck out 100 times in the major leagues, 541 at bats.
32.
You're high. Wow. By a lot. 541 at bats for the 1941 New York Yankees. Joe DiMaggio struck out 13 times.
And was ticked off at every one of them.
On base percentage, 440. 193 hits. 74 of his 193 hits were extra bases. And Arenado is retired for the first out. He's 3-for-10 now in the series and 0-for-3 day today. I would love to go back in time, and that's an era where I would really love to see baseball. Obviously, with World War II, after the 1941 season, the game changed dramatically, but still see guys like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio in their prime in those ballparks with the pitching, how differently the game was played. Man, that would be a real treat.
Watch Jackie Robinson play.
You bet. Here's Cargo. 0-for-2. Teheran has allowed 2 hits. And his fastball still popping the glove in the 90s today. 82 pitches, 53 strikes.
There's a guy in the Braves Hall of Fame and the Baseball Hall of Fame who I would like to go watch pitch a game, and that's Warren Spahn, among the all-time greats and the winningest left-hander in history, and so many of those wins were after he was 30 or 35 years old.
Yeah.
One ball, one strike. The reason I say I'd like to go back and see how the game was played differently, it certainly was pitched differently. You had men throw 26, 27 complete games in a year, not for a career back then. Cargo reaches and grounds to short. Great play. d'Arnaud came to a sliding stop. Wow. That ball was smoked. And Chase positioned well to make the play. There's the second out.
This guy, a great play by d'Arnaud, but look at the swing of Cargo. He's out on his front foot. He's fooled, and he hit a missile up the middle.
Yeah, I was surprised with where he was that ball came off as hard as it did.
Gosh. Nice play by Chase.
I'd like to go back and see some of those guys too. Walter Johnson, Christy Matthews, but I wouldn't want to go to the game in a suit and a tie and a top hat.
And, you know, playing the wool uniforms and all that stuff. Yeah, it'd be a little rough, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine showing up in Bermuda shorts and a golf shirt? What people would say.
Yeah.
Here's Descalso with 2 outs. Again, if you go back and watch the documentary Fastball, it's great. And Walter Johnson's prominently on display. As hard as he threw, and even by modern standards, he was one of the, if not the hardest thrower in the game's history up to that time. But watching the evolution of the game's most important pitch over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years is really remarkable. You've said it a couple of times, guys. Guys would get on the top rail when a man threw 95. Now that's almost an average fastball these days. Makes you wonder how anybody gets a hit ever. And there haven't been many today, just 7 in total. 2-strike pitch for Descalso.
I think one thing we would all find, though, if we went back, is that it was a rougher game, tougher, dirtier. Guys getting spiked and knocked down and hit with pitches, not wearing helmets.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the All-Star comment, I mean, it was a huge deal for your league to beat the other league back then. And maybe even when you guys were playing in your, Tom, in your early days, certainly, before it was quote unquote a game that meant something, end quote. I mean, when Ted Williams, who hit over 500 home runs, said the home run in the 41 All-Star game was maybe the most important home run of his career, that tells you how much he wanted to win against the so-called senior circuit, the National League.
Was that the one off the Ephus pitch?
Off Ripsul? I
Yeah.
bet it might have been. I'll look up. I'm not sure about that.
Ripsul had a pitch, if you're not familiar with him, it was called an Ephus pitch. It looked like a slow pitch softball. And I know Ted hit a home run off of him, but I don't know if it was that year.
Ted Williams' home run was a walk-off homer in that All-Star game.
What'd they call it back then, though?
The All-Star game?
No,
the
walk-off.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Game winning.
Game winning.
Game winning.
Right?
Game over. Let's go home.
It was a fastball off Claude Passot at Briggs Stadium in Detroit. Briggs Stadium later became Tiger Stadium as Descalso outlasts Tehran, and he's got a stand-up double with 2 outs. That was a good at bat by Descalso.
Sure was.
And that is the 3rd Colorado hit and the 1st extra base hit.
One of the few mistakes. Breaking ball that stayed over the middle a little bit, and like you said, Descalso good at bat, good swing. 2-out double.
3rd double for Descalso. Here's Adams. He's 0 for 2. And Recker knocked that down.
He almost looked like he got crossed up there.
The 1941 All-Star game was only the 9th All-Star game in history. Remember, it started in 1933 at Comiskey Park. July 8th, 1941. Up and away, 3-0 your count. Barnes is next. And 4 straight, 2 on, 2 out. Julio didn't want to take a chance with the left hand hitting or switch hitting Adams there. Now he's got the right hand hitting Barnes up.
Yeah, that was the unintentional intentional walk.
And the first of the day for Tehran, who's at 96 pitches now. Don't forget to stay with us for Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Andre Aldrich and Brian Jordan have the hosting duties this afternoon.
Yeah, we were talking about that alumni weekend. I think Brian had Andre pitching a little bit to him today.
Did he?
Ready, yeah, a little soft toss for softball game. But
Brian,
like Tom said last night, he could take softball batting practice from now till the game, and he won't have as many swings in as Smoltz.
the thing is, though, BJ's such a good hitter, he doesn't need the practice.
No. But it was really kind of started by Andre, who wanted to practice his slow pitch pitching.
Is he the designated pitcher for the game?
Well, he could be.
Yeah, they always try to get pitchers, get me to pitch in that thing. It's like, come on. The last thing I want is a line drive softball back at my face.
Too close.
From 30 feet.
Yeah.
I might have had a chance when I was 25, but not so sure I can protect myself now.
Come on, man. Lob it in there and just backpedal.
Yeah.
Right? But again, can't wait for alumni weekend when we come home to face the Phillies. Be a great series here at home after the road trip. 2 balls and a strike. And Barnes was very late.
He got Barnes to chase some breaking balls earlier today. Got ahead of him in the count with them.
And just in case, Ian Kroll is loosening up. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball right side. Jays had to wait for it. Throw to first is just in time. A bang bang play at first retires Barnes. The Rockies might take a look at this on review. Tricky hop. Jays had to wait. Close play. Safer out.
Out.
And indeed, he was out. Walt Weiss awaits confirmation from his video coordinators, and they'll see what we just showed you. He was out.
Got him.
And there'll be no review. The pitch around of Adams worked to Atlanta's favor. The Rockies strand 2. They've left 2 in today's ball game.
Hey,
let's get some runs. But first things first, let's listen to Timothy Miller, who will make his way to the center of the diamond and perform another stirring rendition of God Bless America on a spectacular day for baseball here at Turner Field. Julio Teheran and John Gray are pitching a beauty. In the series wrap-up, Braves trying to avoid a 3-game sweep.
Prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
As we head to the bottom of the 7th, and it is time for your Xfinity game break, we will take you over to Chicago, where the Cubs are hosting the Rangers. Cole Hamels on the mound for the Rangers. He gets Chris Bryant looking to end the 3rd for his 7th strikeout through 3. Now, last time Cole Hamels started in Wrigley, he threw a no-hitter. Tonight, he struck out the first 6 batters that he faced. Texas leads 3-1 in the top of the 6th inning right now.
Thanks, Kelsey. And Texas really needs a win. The Rangers have not been playing very well of late. Texas has lost 11 of their last 14 games, and they see the Astros coming up quickly in the rearview mirror. The Astros are now only 4.5 games back in the American League West, and that Astros club started dreadfully at 9 games under 500 through mid-May. Ender Inciarte takes a strike as the Braves come up here in the 7th. Inciarte, Recker, and then we'll see. Julio Teheran's spot is due 3rd. He's over 100 pitches on a hot day.
Love to get Ender on base. Use his speed to manufacture a run.
But LeMahieu smothered that at 2nd, and there's the first out of the inning. Cubs beat Texas yesterday behind Jason Hamill, who was terrific. Remember, we saw Jason Hamill in Chicago. He had to leave the game with a hand cramp, which I'd never heard a pitcher have.
Yeah, and his thumb, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the Cubs team doctor prescribed him with a very interesting form of relief, which I'll explain after the pitch to Recker. Obviously, Hamill is going to be in training to be a major league broadcaster someday, because the Cubs team doctor ordered him to start eating lots of potato chips. Why, you might ask?
Yes. Why?
Yes. Okay. Potato chips are apparently very high in potassium, like bananas, or at least the potatoes are. And the salt in the potato chips helps you retain water, which would then help you alleviate cramping. So Jason Hamill started chowing down potato chips, and the rest, they say, is history.
I feel a cramp coming on now.
Good news and bad news. You're not going to cramp anymore, but you're not going to be able to get over to first base either, because you're going to be 100 pounds overweight.
But he'll make every one of his starts.
Yes.
Right?
That would have been a perfect diet for Maddox.
Really?
Would have been right up his alley.
You never saw him with a cramp, did you?
Nope.
2-2. Was he in the food room all the time?
Wow, he just, I mean, his pregame meal when we were home, we would stop at Burger King and get a Whopper on the way to the field. I'm like, dude, seriously? Oh, yeah. Okay.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Recker,
no.
Did he get it on the hand? And they're going to say that's a foul ball. The question is, did he swing? And apparently the answer is no. So no swing. Recker's going to head to first. But this is a very important injury. The Braves have already lost Tyler Flowers, who broke his hand after being hit by a pitch against the Marlins.
Yeah, that was right off the knob and the pinky finger. Walt Weiss is complaining that it hit the bat and not the hand, but it appeared to hit both.
And this is a reviewable play, and I think that's exactly what Walt Weiss is asking for. So Scott Berry and Trip Gibson will don the headsets, and they'll take a look and see if this got the knob of the bat, or did it get the finger of Anthony Recker. Again, the call was he was hit by the pitch. Will there be enough evidence to overturn?
Well, they made an appeal to Wendelstedt at first base to see if he swung at the pitch, and he said no, he didn't. And Anthony is right down on the knob of the bat. And it was clear to them that it hit the knob and the hand.
So Recker will be at first base. The call stands. And Brandon Snyder is going to come on and pinch hit for Julio Teheran. Brandon's been the secret weapon for Atlanta this year off the bench. A lot of pinch hits and a lot of extra base hits. And that was a great review. It only took 33 seconds to confirm the original call. Snyder, the team leader in pinch hits for the Braves with 4. He's 4 for 13 with a homer and 6 runs batted in. Julio needs 1 to get a lead here.
Snyder has 6 hits on the year, including a couple of starts, and they're all for extra base hits there too. 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers total on the season.
Julio was great. 101 pitches, 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and a wild pitch. And he set the tone. 7 straight retired to start, then a run of 10 straight over the middle innings.
By the way, that was the 8th batter that Gray has plunked this year. So as we have seen today, he's not afraid to pitch inside.
The Rockies outfield slightly toward right. Big gap in left center and down the left field line if Brandon can find that area. Gonzalez Hermen is the Rockies reliever up and throwing now. Into the Braves dugout, foul. It's 0-2.
Did you see how the Giants lost last night to the Padres?
I saw how it happened. I've never seen that happen live myself.
A walk-off balk.
Oh, I saw it.
Santiago Casilla, is that his how you pronounce his name? Stumbled on a pitch to the plate.
Snap throw to first and a close play. Recker just did get back.
Scalzo wanted him to take a look, but they don't have any looks left. Safe.
I read somewhere too, Joe, that the Giants might think about getting in on the Andrew Miller Aroldis Chapman sweepstakes. They've had issues with the back end of their bullpen because of injury. Romo's had elbow problems.
I remember John Rocker. It was ruled a balk in the bottom of the 9th, I'll say, at the Marlins Park, the old Marlins Park, and he didn't balk. He just dropped the baseball.
Dropped the ball. Yeah.
He had his foot on the rubber, getting the sign, and dropped the baseball.
Wow.
Balk. Run scored.
Nice stop, which was followed immediately, I'm sure, on the broadcast by
Totals and highlights right after this.
Yes, it was.
That's something you don't see every day.
And then a slam of the headset, and then
How in the world does that happen?
or something along those lines.
It was very close.
Yeah, right. Well, let's see. The Braves roll the dice. They've been aggressive on the base pass early in the game. We've got a full count now. Recker's got a good lead. He's going. And a chopper up the middle right at the second base bag. There'll be only one play, and it's to first and in time. So sending the runner, save the Braves there, keeps the frame alive. And Jace Peterson hits with Recker in scoring position, but now there are 2 outs.
Smart play by the shortstop. Usually those shortstops around the bag, they get greedy. They want both. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to get to the bag and beat record there. So a chance for Julio to still be the pitcher of record with the lead. Yeah, there's no way he would have been able to stretch and get that done.
Braves looking for their first hit since the 4th inning. You've got Peterson, then you've got d'Arnaud, who has 2 of Atlanta's 5 hits.
Yeah, this is very consistent with what we read about Gray in terms of early inning problems, giving up a lot of runs in the 1st and 2nd inning, and then pretty much putting the clamps on teams.
And like Mike Foltynewicz, he's still throwing the upper 90s in the 7th inning and over 100 pitches.
Yeah, he hadn't lost anything, and not, you know, like we've talked about, his delivery being pretty simple. Not a lot of exertion, so to speak. I know he's obviously working hard out there, but it's not like it's a max effort thing on every pitch. It doesn't look like it.
108 pitches so far. That is a new season high for him. And the Rockies would like to get him through this inning because his spot's coming up second when we get to the 8th.
Well, I like what Tripp Gibson's doing there. He was giving Walters and Gray a chance to talk this out. The game's scoreless. Potential go-ahead run at second base. He's given them a chance to have a little extended chat there about what they want to do. Common sense prevailed.
Good pitch. A changeup, 2-0. Now the players and fans alike getting a little relief. Cloud has covered the sun up. That'll cool things off ever so slightly. Gentle breeze blowing out toward right center. Let's see if Jace can hit something that way.
They're playing him straight up, but they also know that he got a base hit the other way his first time up, and it's almost like he's trying real hard, overly trying to get the ball in on him and tie him up. Might be his last hitter if he doesn't get him. See if Jace can turn on something if he misses inner third.
Ball 4, 2 on, 2 out. Decision time for Walt Weiss.
I'd give him another hitter. Righty on righty. He clearly pitched around Jace. Didn't want to give him anything good to hit. This is one of those opportunities. Find out what you have.
Yes. You know I'm all about that.
So it is righty-righty, but d'Arnaud's got 2 hits righty-righty in his 3 trips to the plate. 2 on, 2 out.
And given the history, like his last game, he was up 2-0 when he came out of the game. He had a couple of guys on base, but the bullpen gave up his runs. He gets a no decision. The team goes on to lose. Could be some of the factor here that Walt's going to give him a chance to have a say in what happens.
And
I like that.
Last outing was against the Phillies when the bullpen imploded late. Phillies got a late homer to win the game. And one of the Colorado writers had a great line in describing that outing by John Gray. He said if his start was a sentence, it ended in a comma, and the Phillies filled in the blanks late in the game. So very well written and clever way to describe Gray's last outing before the break. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, what a cut. And now Gray in command of the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got a hanging change up there. I haven't seen too many change ups to righties. Most of them been to lefties. Got away with that one.
Yeah, Chase would like to have that one back.
A swing and a miss. The ball was in the dirt. Walters smothered that, and John Gray got to finish what he started here in the 7th inning. Very impressive work. 8 strikeouts through 7 innings. No decision for Julio Teheran. We go to the 8th.
Is sponsored by Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Well, when's somebody going to score? Hopefully it'll be the bottom of the 8th, not the top. Nothing. Here as the Braves wrap up our series with the Rockies. First 20,000 guests through the gates on Saturday, July 30th. Get a 1991 worst to first NLCS replica ring. Don't miss out on this collector's item. Go to Braves.com/promotions and get your tickets today. It's Hunter Cervenka to pitch the 8th.
He worked 2/3 of an inning last night in relief of Mike Foltynewicz, and he retired the 2 hitters he faced, but he also threw a wild pitch that allowed a run to score. One of the 9 the Braves have issued in this series. 9 wild pitches.
In Atlanta franchise history, there have never been more than 7 in a series. So that's a, as my kids would say, yucky record. Hopefully no more as Walters leads off. And that's a list you don't want to be at the top of. Wow, the Braves had 53 all year last year.
Yikes. Here's something else I don't want any part of. Tony Walters is up there. He doesn't play every day. Left-handed hitter against Cervenka, and Ryan Rayburn is on deck to pinch hit, and he can't be more than 20 feet from him.
No, with all the near misses we seem to have seen this year with balls and bats.
Yeah,
I'd want as much room as I could get.
A little low, 2 balls and a strike. And that's outside, ball 4, a leadoff walk in the 8th inning of a scoreless game.
Nothing good ever comes of that.
So now the Rockies can bring Rayburn back and play for a bunt if they want, but they've also got powerful Trevor Story at their disposal, and that's who's going to come up here with nobody out.
I think he's got a ton of sacrifices. No, just two. No, just one. Somebody had a bunch, and it's LeMahieu. He's got 6.
So Hunter Cervenka walks the leadoff man. Trevor Story is going to come on and pinch hit. That's the end of the line for Hunter Cervenka. We'll see how the rest of the inning wraps up.
Port South is presented by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, the Braves are hoping to ride home happy this afternoon, but they got to score a run first. Nothing as we continue in the 8th inning. Alumni weekend, as we've told you, July 29th through the 31st is coming up. The Braves will take on the Phillies. All your favorite Braves legends will be here. Lots of autograph and meet and greet opportunities will be at Turner Field. It's a weekend you don't want to miss. There'll be the old-timer softball game. Tom, we may force him to pitch. Haven't worked that out quite yet. But, you know, Greg McMichael will have a great full schedule of events all weekend long as the Braves and Phillies meet in the final series in July.
Chris Withrow also pitched last night. He did not give up a run, but he gave up hits to each of the 2 guys he faced. And that was LeMahieu and Arenado, and he's got a pinch hitter, Trevor Story, up there now.
Story did not start the game for the Rockies. He's 2 for 7 with 3 runs in the series, a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. He's got hits in 5 of his last 6 games, and 11 of his 21 homers have come away from Coors Field. And you see a very strong Rookie of the Year candidate in the National League. And he is bunting. And it was a good one. Story, with all that power, lays down a sacrifice bunt. That's an interesting strategy, and here's why. It's not a second guess, but a question. If you're going to bunt, why don't you just let the pitcher go ahead and bunt and keep Story available, unless he's going to double switch with him, which is possible.
My guess is he would double switch, but you know, also, if you got in a game like this, as important as one run is clearly going to be, if you got a guy that you trust and you know can do it, then I think I'm sending him up there versus a pitcher.
So Blackman will be intentionally walked. It'll be the second walk of the inning for the Braves. Well, that's an interesting thing. You got Story with 21 homers. the first player in modern history to hit 4 homers in his first 3 games, and the first player in 116 years whose first 4 major league hits were homers. But he may have just made the biggest play in the game, getting down a bunt with nobody out. And so the Rockies will have 2 on, 1 away. And the second best hitter by average, DJ LeMahieu, coming up.
Keep in mind Walt Weiss over there too. Walt Weiss, a guy who played the game the right way, certainly, and also a guy who knew how to manufacture runs and do things fundamentally correct. So this is the kind of game, this is the kind of situation that's right down his alley to try to get that first run across.
And you're right, this is a Walt Weiss game, and maybe the rarest of all games for the Colorado Rockies. Again, they do not play many, if any, 1-run games. Home, road, you name it. In fact, coming into the season, the last 12 1-run games played by the Rockies have all been on the road. That isn't surprising. 2 of them came here in Atlanta. They were back-to-back days, September 5th and 6th, 2012. And the Rockies lost them both. So here's LeMahieu. And Withrow missed outside. Ball 1.
They won one last night to make them 6-11 in 1-run games. And again, LeMahieu did see Withrow last night and got a base hit. Really need a ground ball here.
LeMahieu didn't get a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just past 4 o'clock here in Atlanta. Beautiful summer Sunday. Just missed. Withrow wanted that.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pitch. Made LeMahieu flinch a little bit.
'96. Chris was a little mad. 2-2. Ground ball. Freeman had him played perfectly. 2nd one. Darno glides across the bag and completes the double play. A 3-6-1 double play. Nobody starts that better than Freddie Freeman. Perfect position, and 2 strikes ends the Rockies' 8th.
What a great turn. Good job by Chase. Good hustle by Withrow.
First baseman Freddie Freeman. He's going to get things started in the Atlanta 8th in the scoreless game. And he's our home field advantage, brought to you today by Lowe's.
Last 15 at home, 4 homers, 8 RBIs, high batting average. But he is looking for his first hit in this series. He's thrilled to see John Gray out of the game. Gray fanned him 3 times in a row today. He's 0 for 10 against the Rockies. And he'll get a look at Jason Mott, the hard-throwing former catcher, former Cardinal.
And current disappointment, I think it's safe to say, so far out of the Rockies bullpen. McGee and Mott have not been as good as the Rockies had hoped in the first half. As Freeman drives one on a play foul for a strike. You saw Story checks in. He's the shortstop. Colorado with a big shift on for Freeman in a scoreless 8th inning game.
Low to mid 90s with a fastball and a lot of cutters.
Mott just turned 34. Beg your pardon, Joe.
Just going to say he also spent some time on the DL with a strained right shoulder.
Mott's another Tommy John survivor. And they gave him a 2-year deal. Last year, Mott pitched for the Cubs. He went 8-1, saved 6 games. And he had Freddie reaching for that pitch, and it's fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First season as a pitcher for Mott was 2007. In 2004, this man was rated as the best defensive catcher in the Florida State League. But he never hit much, and that took care of that. And that was tipped and caught, and Freddie Freeman has whiffed for a 4th time today. 9 Braves have been struck out. That's Mott's first, and 1 man down.
Not too many golden sombreros for Freddie Freeman.
No, he's seen some pretty nasty pitches. Another good changeup there. Or split finger, whatever his changeup is.
Here's an alarming number, though, with Freddie Freeman. His career high in strikeouts for a season is 145. That was 2 years ago. He's up to 102. And 98 strikeouts all of last year.
Well, we've noticed this about Freddie before. He kind of goes in strikeout binges. I don't think he's feeling 100%. I think that's part of it right now, but he just kind of goes in stretches on the K's. Pretty good pitch there. A little low.
Let's see if Nick has a green light. Never know. Wasn't close. 1 out walk. And Jeff Rancour also is hoping to make some contact. The Rockies have struck him out 3 times. Yeah, the strikeouts for the Braves confined to 3 hitters. Rancour, Freeman, and d'Arnaud. And that's your 2, 3, and 5th place hitters.
Only 21 games. This is number 22 for Mott because of that shoulder problem. 5 homers allowed in 17 innings.
Jeff just missed. Blackman in center is going to catch that. Markakis back to first. 2 are out. Adonis has had a good day at the plate. He has 2 of the Braves' 5 hits.
Time for Nick to get that first stolen base of the year.
Yep. Quickly 0-2. Got to admire a man that can throw the ball 93, 94 miles an hour after Tommy John and after those shoulder problems. And Adonis fouled that ball off his body. And he's hobbling around. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Did he foul it or did he swing at it and it hit him?
Thought he fouled it.
Right on the knee. Oh, absolutely.
We've seen enough of those this year. Eric Ibar has been whacked a couple of times on plays like that. Adonis hanging tough here in the 8th. No score. Braves and Rockies, game 3. High fly ball center. Blackman retreats, but the ballpark will hold that. Mott works a scoreless 8th. Our duel moves to the fateful 9th. Heart of the order up for the Rockies. No score.
Rockies. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Traffic everywhere, but at home plate here at Turner Field, where the Braves and Rockies have played to a scoreless duel after 8 innings. And as we said, tough inning coming up for Withrow. You've got Nolan Arenado leading off. His numbers compare very favorably to national superstar Bryce Harper.
And better in many respects with the home runs and RBIs. I agree with you, Tom. When he doesn't have the protection behind him that he's got right now, he's going to start walking a lot more. But who knows? Maybe the Rockies will give Cargo an extension on his contract.
And he signed through next year in Denver. No balls at a strike. And Arenado fouled it back. Quickly 0-2. For all the great work that Arenado has done at the plate, he is going up there swinging the bat. 616 at bats last year. He walked only 34 times. And the point Arenado is making is he'd really like to be more selective, if possible, at the plate this year. Work counts a little deeper. Be a little more patient. And that's a pitch that gave him trouble, even in the midst of a 42 homer, 130 RBI season last year. Line drive into right center field. That's going to get down. Inciarte cuts it off. Arenado with a leadoff single starts the Colorado ninth.
Arenado has a real nice setup, and the hitters call it a load, where he gets his hand set, gets his hands moving a little bit, but he also has a little reverse press. He kind of pushes his weight back. Watch him go forward. Now he'll go back over that back foot a little bit and drove down and through that pitch. What a good looking player.
Braves have 4 lefties in their bullpen. We're going to see a second in this situation. Cargo is coming up in a scoreless game.
And Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
When we're back in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, Saturday, July 30th, it's NLCS Replica Ring Day. It'll chronicle the 1991 worst first Braves team. It'll be a great collector's item. Go to Braves.com/promotions and get your tickets today. The first 20,000 guests through the gates will get that replica National League Championship Series ring.
Braves got some great rings during the good run. That was a beauty. Dario Alvarez in his 13th game, and all 3 games of this series, and he has faced Cargo twice. Fly out to left, pop to short.
No runs, 5 hits for the Braves. No runs, 4 hits for the Rockies. Let's see how Colorado plays it. Big hole on the right side with Freeman holding Arenado at first. I'd be shocked if they thought about a stolen base. As we said earlier in the series, the one thing Nolan does not do real well is run. He's 1 for 4 in stolen base attempts this year. And you've got a man that's in scoring position in the batter's box in Carlos Gonzalez. And the first is off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, you're right there. I'd much rather, if I'm the Rockies, have Carlos Gonzalez hitting with a runner at first than Descalso hitting with runners at first and second. They would probably pinch hit for Descalso, though, with the lefty pitcher. Colorado and the Braves both trying to get a hit with a runner in scoring position. Both have been blanked today. Rockies trying to get a guy in scoring position here.
What a stop.
Unbelievable.
That was almost the 10th wild pitch. That saved a base.
Well, Alvarez chipped in on that category 2 nights ago.
I mean, that's thrown to the center of the right-handed hitter's batter's box.
Yeah, and that's what makes it hard for the catchers too. Is it's with a fastball probably not so much, but with a breaking ball you're at least anticipating it. But when it's on the other side of where you're set up, man, it makes it awful hard to get over there.
And that missed. 3-1 in the count. Alvarez wanted the call, but when you're scattering the ball, you're not going to get the close pitches. Fly ball center. Cargo can't believe he missed that. And Alvarez might have hung a breaking ball and lived to tell the tale. Cargo's so disgusted he didn't even bother to run to first base. And there's the first out of the inning. And Descalso is going to be taken down for a pinch hitter. And it's Ryan Rayburn, remember, who was out earlier, but Colorado used Trevor Story instead to lay down a bunt in the 8th. So Rayburn will not face Alvarez. Jim Johnson was up and throwing, and we'll see if the Chief is coming on here with a man aboard and 1 out. No score. We're in the 9th. Injury. Jim Johnson has become the de facto closer for this Braves ball club. Jim surrendered the winning run last night, and as we've said, wild pitches were part of his issues in game 2.
Yeah, a couple of them last night. Had AJ bouncing around and then got the ground ball with the infield in, but the throw from Ibar was short in the dirt, and AJ couldn't handle the short hop throw and the tag at the same time. That was the winning run.
So Jim suffered his 5th loss of the season. He's in with 1 on, 1 out here in the 9th inning. And he'll face Ryan Rayburn, who's hit 3 pinch hit homers this year.
Other than closers, are there any lefty relievers in the game that can get righties out anymore? What happened to Mike Remlingers of the world?
Well, we have
guys with reverse splits.
Yeah, remember Russell?
Yeah. James Russell.
James Russell was better getting right-handers out than lefties when we had him.
But it's become so specialized now that, you know, when you get deep into a game and you're through your bullpen and you need a guy that you're down to your last lefty and he's got to get a righty out, you're up against it. That's not a knock on Brian Sitka. That's a game-wide issue.
No, I mean, if I'm Brian, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just saying it seems like it would be a valuable commodity to have in your bullpen, a left-hander that can actually get right-handed hitters out too.
And 4 straight. Rayburn walks, and the Rockies are in business with 2 on and 1 man out. And again, they will go to the bench here. Look, baseball's doing everything it can to speed up the game. To your point, one way to speed it up is, barring injury, relievers have to face at least 2 batters. That will eliminate some of that specialization that we're talking about.
I mean, I'm honestly at the point where I'm almost thinking about considering that as a viable option. I mean, it's every game, the last 3 innings take an hour plus.
I thought you were going to say you're considering coming back and just being a specialist, use that changeup to a right-handed hitter.
Yeah.
And to your point about, look, the only people who complain about the time of game are the writers usually. But here we are in a nothing game. There is no score in this game, and we're already over 3 hours.
Yeah.
The Rockies had a 4.5-hour game in their ballpark, but they had 16 pitchers pitch in the game. Yeah. And that was a reasonably scored game. I don't remember what the score was.
It was
a 9-inning game.
10-9.
But it was a 9-inning game, right?
Yes, it was.
So, to your point, at some point, don't the lefties have to get a righty out every now and then? Well, you change that rule, they're going to have to.
Yeah, but to me, it's just, I don't know, are there no lefties out there that are capable of doing it, or is it just, again, that it's become so specialized that we're not even going to try. We're not even going to find out. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure that anybody comes to mind that's out there right now. There may be someone.
Oh, when you had Billy Wagner.
Yeah, but again, closer.
Right.
I get that.
Well, you're talking non-closer,
yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm talking like the 8th inning Mike Remlingers of the world. That go ahead, throw whoever you want up there. He's pitching this inning.
Roller toward third. Garcia's got it. 2nd one. The turn to first is in time. Reynolds hits into a double play. And the Chief, Jim Johnson, gets out of it and sends it to the bottom half. Atlanta can walk off. They need but 1 run. We're scoreless. A walk-off win, shall we? That would be nice to discuss with Andre and Brian Jordan on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Braves have their 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up, and they will face Gonzalez Hermen, who's in his 33rd game.
Good numbers, especially again pitching at Coors Field. A lot of 5.12 ERA. A lot of walks in there though. 19 of them. Lefty's hitting .309. Low 90s fastball, changeup, and an occasional slider.
Mark Reynolds stays in the game. He's at first. Fast man in the box. Ender Inciarte. Ender began the day with a 5-game hitting streak. That's on the line in this 9th inning at bat, perhaps. He has reached on a forced play, stolen a base, and he's laid down a sacrifice.
Drag one. Reynolds is way back. Just came in the game.
Finals starting to roll in around the big leagues today. Mets beat the Phillies 5-zip. Reds beat Milwaukee 1-0. Wow, a 1-0 game at the Great American Ballpark. That's hard to do. Daniel Murphy hit a 2-strike, 2-out home run in the bottom of the 9th inning for the Nationals. They've tied the Pirates 1-1. Cubs lost to Texas 4-1 today. Miami leads the Cardinals 5-3. Eric O'Flaherty is up. Should this game get to inning number 10. Little broken bat pop is going to turn to gold for Inciarte. A leadoff hit.
Pretty good swing to fight that off. Fifth hit of the series.
So Inciarte will take a 6-game hit streak on the road as Anthony Recker is in. He's been walked intentionally. He's flied to center and he was hit by a pitch. See how firmly he can grasp the bat after being hit on the bottom hand. And he almost squared right into the center of that pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Hermen is not the only Rockies pitcher to have made his major league debut against the Braves. Beg your pardon, to make his Rockies debut against the Braves. Last July 10th, he made a spot start against Atlanta. It was his first big league start.
I remember that they were having they either had an injury problem. they had sent a player down, something like that, where they had a little personnel issue. He was the logical guy.
He didn't factor in the decision, but that was one of 29 games that Herman pitched in Colorado last year. Former Met, former Cub briefly. Now a very busy 28-year-old right-hander out of La Romana in the Dominican Republic. Recker's trying to get a bunt down, but now he's got 2 strikes. He got it down with 2 strikes. It'll stay fair, and Herman with the peg to first.
What a good job.
The sacrifice works. That'll bring up Gordon Beckham. He'll pinch hit.
Teammates appreciating that effort with 2 strikes.
Gordon's trying to get his swing back in shape after going to the disabled list for a second time. Gordo's missed 50 games with 2 separate hamstring issues. And since his return, he's 4 for 20 and looking for his first hit in 10 tries.
Yeah, 0 for 8 in this series with a bunch of strikeouts, too. But I like this matchup. Not a lot of sliders. Mostly fastball changeup from Herman. Good arms in the outfield. Gonzalez in right especially.
Good stop. Even count.
Now Walters has done a nice job back there today. Braves 0 for 7 with the man in scoring position today. Time for a knock.
Well, they need one.
Wild pitch. About time one of those went the other way. And now the winning run is 90 feet away with only 1 out.
I don't think that one reached the dirt.
May not have. May have skipped, my hydroplaned off the grass. That one hopped the backstop. So the infield's in, but surprisingly the outfield's still fairly deep.
So no 5-man infield alignment for Colorado. They'll creep in a few more steps. Beckham way ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike. As Joe said, we had a walk-off balk in the big leagues last night. Fly ball, base hit, an error, another wild pitch.
Could have a walk-off squeeze too.
Yeah. Two and two. Pretty gutsy pitch after you just threw one to the screen.
Yeah.
It was in a good spot. All the Braves on the top step as the 2-2 pitch is on the way to Beckham. Popped up. Infield in, long run as they drift out. Who wants it? It'll be Story at short. He makes the grab, and Beckham is retired for the second out.
That was not an easy play with the infield in. Looking up into the sun. Had to hustle back to get that, but we've seen Story already show some great range in this series.
So do the Rockies want Peterson? Do they want d'Arnaud? Let's see. Infield back to normal depth. Same for the outfield with 2 outs. And a ball low. Right there.
One of the things that Herman has to remember is that it really doesn't matter what Jace Peterson, if Jace Peterson reaches, so long as he doesn't get that run in from third base. And that may be part of what was the confusion there on the call from Walters. I think Jace is going to see another changeup.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he sees a fastball in his zone. Just like I said.
But he did. It was right there.
I really thought they'd waste something away. I was with you, Tom. I just thought that would happen and then come back with a changeup and try to get him to chase it.
Well, will they go inside again?
Yeah, he shook off the changeup.
They did, but it was a little high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There have been times where that's been a hole for Jace Peterson, that inside corner. There have been other times where he's been all over it and he's ripped the ball deep to right and he's hit a few home runs that way.
Well, I'm selling out and I'm looking for it now.
Yep, here it comes.
Shows you again what we know, or what I know.
Well, you can't see the indicator from where we are, Tom, so maybe a cross up. Full count. Let's see what we feature for Jace Peterson. 90 feet is all that separates Atlanta from victory today.
3-2 change. Wild pitch.
He missed outside. Terrific at bat by Peterson. And for Herman, really no harm, no foul. The man at first means nothing to them. It's the man at third they're worried about. So they start with a new count in a righty-righty matchup.
Gives your defense a little more flexibility too. You have a chance to get a force out at second base if you need to. Steve Foster is the pitching coach.
Braves still have A.J. Przinsky on the bench and Eric Ibar available.
So here's Chase d'Arnaud, who had the post-game concert last night. A game-winning hit would be the best possible encore. First and third, 2 outs. Peterson's running. d'Arnaud didn't get a breaking ball. And it's 0-1. Defensive indifference, the ruling on the Peterson advance. Inciarte led off with a single. A sacrifice and a wild pitch got him to third. Beckham popped out for the second out of the inning. And a line drive wins it. d'Arnaud with the encore, a walk-off hit, and the Braves have beaten Colorado 1-0.
Well, that was a BB. Encore is right, Chip. Good call on that. On our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Good time for this as Chase turned on that one up and in. Ball game.
And the Colorado Rockies lose another 1-0 game on the road. This time to the Braves, courtesy of Chase d'Arnaud's third hit of the day. Atlanta salvages 1 out of 3 against the Rockies. And now they will hit the road for a long road trip to Cincinnati, Denver, and 2 with the Minnesota Twins. What a great 24-hour run for Chase d'Arnaud. A post-game concert, a game-winning hit, and now a post-game interview with Kelsey Wingert.
Thanks, Chip. Yep, you know, Chip said it best. He said that you had your post-game concert last night, but the best possible encore was walking it off here today in the bottom of the ninth.
Man, you know what? At first I was thinking the coolest thing would for that have happened yesterday and then perform. But, you know, this is just as good. I mean, I'm really happy about it. You know, everybody worked really hard to get this win right now, and it feels good to have come through.
What is going through your mind in that at-bat when you know all you need is a base hit?
You know, I always preach, you know, simplicity, and I was trying not to do too much. I swung through that first changeup, and I just really didn't want to do that again, so I was trying to be patient and stay back, and I recognized the fastball and just tried to take my barrel right to it and squared it up.
Julio Teheran, Julio Teheran, he was phenomenal today. 7 shutout innings for you guys. What can you say about what he's meant to your team in this rotation?
Well, you know, he's very stable. He's the beacon of stability for our team. That's what he does every time he comes out. He's a reliable pitcher. You know that he's going to give you his all. And, you know, it feels good to be playing defense behind him, knowing that the ball's going to be put in play. I love watching him pitch and playing behind him.
Hey, well, Chase, it's been a really fun 2 days watching you out on the stage, out on the field. Congratulations. Have a good flight. We'll see you on the road trip. Chip, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. Chase d'Arnaud, part of a 3-hit day today. Julio Teheran and John Gray were brilliant. Only right that this one was decided by the bullpens, and it goes Atlanta's way. Jim Johnson gets the victory. Atlanta with a late hit wins it in the ninth. 1-0 your final.